to youth national tournaments and then getting on the national leagues, respectively, and then getting FIFA nominations. So I guess there is a structure coming through from junior football all the way up to an elite level. But then obviously Chris and my pathways differ slightly when it comes to professional. So I can handball that now to Chris.
Yeah, sure. So I'm happy to jump in. So I think that, as Kate mentioned, that we're fortunate that nowadays there is a very clear structure and pathway in place for referees, certainly in Australia, to reach the top level. As Kate mentioned, I'm fortunate to be one of a handful of professional referees in Australia, and that pathway has become clearer and clearer over the past few years as the full-time refereeing program has developed. And as Kate mentioned as well, the pathway and structure has improved, and it's very similar to what the players go through nowadays in terms of focusing a lot of attention on our physical preparation, our tactical, technical, mental preparation to ensure that we can perform at the elite level.
Cool. How about Matt, for yourself?
Yeah, I've been a professional referee since 2015, but in Denmark it's only we are 10 out of 14 in the top league who's actually part-time and professional referees. And as Chris mentioned, in Denmark for the last 2, 3, 4 years, we've been working a lot with the talent sector. So we have this talent level. So hopefully in five years, you will also see a lot more referees being a professional. So hopefully we'll see. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, everyone. I'm pretty sure some of our viewers here are aspiring referees as well, so this would definitely help them. So moving on, I'll pose my first question to Kate. You were the first female referee to officiate in the A-League, which is Australia's highest level of professional men's league. Take us through what your ambitions were for yourself when you first started refereeing, and what they are now, if they've changed along the way.
Sure. So when I first started refereeing, I was still playing. I actually had no clear ambition or understanding or knowledge of where refereeing could take me. I essentially started refereeing for pocket money and for pure love of the game. And my first passion was actually playing. But then as I started to move through the junior levels, mentors and coaches started explaining to me that there was a pathway other than playing, and that was, I could travel the world essentially. And I didn't really know what that meant at the time until, fast forward 10 years going through my career essentially, and I get my FIFA badge. And even when I became international, I didn't really understand what that meant in terms of I can travel the world and see the world and experience different cultures through football. So yeah, certainly my ambitions changed through my career, and now gaining that understanding, that experience. Fast forward again another 10 years, and I become the first female to referee on a men's professional league in Australia. And my ambition for that was to do the best I could. And that was to put my best foot forward. And through all the years of experience, knowing that I had worked my entire career for that moment, and to show others what can be done through hard work, dedication, longevity to a career and a trade, and just to show what can be achieved from that, no matter how long the journey is. Now, what I foresee for the next 5 or 10 years, my aim is another World Cup cycle. And again, my goal is another season on the Hyundai A-League if I'm good enough. So, yeah, I don't look too far past the next cycle, but certainly changes.
Well, congratulations on that. I think that certainly kind of sets the path for a lot of aspiring female referees, especially, maybe even in Australia. So I think what you've given them is a bit of hope. that hopefully with the journey they take, they can see themselves on a professional league, regardless if it's for the women's league or the men's league. So thank you for sharing on that. I have a next question for Matt. This one is going to be a little tricky for you. Okay, so it's not very technical, but I really want to know what you think about this. If you had the power, what rules would you change to the game of football? For example, we have the card system, the yellow and the red card. Would you be in favor of an automatic sin bin for a yellow card of, say, 15 minutes, similar to what they do in rugby? Would you be in favor of taking that and placing that in the game of football, or would you change it in another way?
Actually, we have it already in Denmark in the grassroots. Up till, I think, the fourth highest league in Denmark, when you get a yellow card, you will be out for 10 minutes. We've been speaking about changing it in Denmark to also put it in the top league, but so far we're not going to do it. But actually, I think it's going to be a good way to manage the game and manage the players if we have the 10 minutes. But of course, then again, we have all the technical issues, because then the coaches, the spectators, the television will be standing with the watch. Oh, he was out for 10 minutes, 10 seconds. He was out for 10 minutes, 15 seconds, or maybe 11 minutes. But it could be a way to manage the game in another way. But if you ask me if I want to change one rule, that would be for sure the rule of handball, because all over the world we have different opinions about when is it a handball and when it's deliberate and when it's not, and when it should be punishable. So that would be the rule right now. I would like to change to make it more equal all over the world, but it's going to be difficult for sure.
By changing the rule of handball, do you mean like completely removing the rule, or do you mean changing it to be more specific to the part of the hand, or when it's an official handball? Do you want to remove the rule totally, or change up the technicalities of the rule?
No, I don't want to remove the rule, but I want to make it more simple, because today you have so many understandings about is this a punishable handball? Is it not? And we know from UEFA, when we watch clips, when we just see it in Denmark, we will have maybe 2-3 different opinions about it. So it takes a lot of time to make it more consistent. So it will be easy to make it more simple, for sure. It will, yeah.
Understand. Fair enough. So let's go to Chris, right? Next. I have a really interesting question for you. There has been a lot of controversy about VAR decisions. Do you think the VAR actually makes the referee's job easier or more difficult? And in your opinion, are there improvements that can be made to the system of the VAR and how it's implemented?
Yeah, you're right. That is an interesting question. So thank you for that one. I think that VAR does make a referee's job somewhat easier, in that we're able to review an incident that we may not have seen clearly. And football is played at such a fast pace nowadays that having that additional tool is a good thing. I think that it does make football cleaner, and it won't ever stop the debate after the game. But I think as another tool in the referee's toolkit, the VAR is a good thing overall. And I think we've seen that with some of the statistics at some of the bigger tournaments, the increase in the accuracy rates. That's a good thing for football. You're right that it is sometimes a very controversial topic. And I think that there are improvements, and will always be improvements with something that involves humans and technology. I think that the big aspects for improvement at the moment are around speed, so the time that it takes for the VAR to obtain the right footage and to work with the referee team to come up with the right outcome. And I think also the communication piece, so to be able to communicate some of those decisions with broadcast and with the public. And I understand those aspects of VAR are currently being trialled and worked on to enhance the entertainment piece and to enhance the spectacle that is football.
Okay, cool. Thank you for sharing. I think just coming off the VAR question, right? Same for you, Chris, as well. Sometimes there are things that happen on the field that isn't visible to audiences at home or even at the stadium, right? So what is the funniest thing you've seen on the pitch while refereeing a game?
Another good question. The funniest thing, probably the funniest thing most recently, coming from Australia, with lots of wildlife down here at a grassroots game that I went out to see, I actually saw a kangaroo hop across the field during the game. So that's probably the pretty funny story that's happened most recently.
Okay, and we've seen situations where fans run into the field and security gets them off. So did anyone do anything about the kangaroo? No?
This is at the grassroots level, so they just let the kangaroo go and the game continued.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna ask a second question. This second group question. This is open to all, so feel free to jump in anytime. Many footballers are superstitious. As referees, do you have any pre-match rituals that maybe the audiences at home or fans at the stadium we don't really know about? We've seen it from the players, but we rarely see it from the referees. So do you have anything like that? Let's start with Matt, if possible.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have always two things I always do before I go out to the match. Always put the cards in the same pocket in the same way because it's just one of the things making me ready for the match. And the other one is as players always listen to music. Every time I go out on an international match, we always listen to the same music just before kickoff. So two small things, but for me, it's good because it's part of the mental preparation. Yeah.
Okay, quick question on that. Is your music slow or is it like hard rock, pop, R&B?
No, it's actually two songs we listen to. One of them is a Danish group called Volbeat. I don't know if you know them around. And the other one is from Scotland named Runrig. So Volbeat is rock and roll, and Runrig is more slow down music. So, yeah.
Interesting. So this is good information for all our viewers out there. So if you need a pre-match song or ritual, those are the songs to listen to. How about yourself, Kate?
Well, number one, I don't think I go to a game without a freshly made coffee. And no matter where I am in the world, I will probably make my coffee unless I'm in a destination that makes very good coffee. And the second is very similar to Mads, is the music. However, it's not really much a ritual or superstition, but certainly when I'm nervous, to calm some nerves, because we're all mic'd up, I sometimes think that I'm in a boy band or something. So then I start, a chorus with my team. And as we're checking the players' equipment in the tunnel, I started singing a song, and then my fourth official came out with backing vocals, and we kind of had all of us started then walking out to "Oh Happy Days."
Okay.
Yeah, this is a team from, I think, Japan and India and Australia. So it was quite uniting.
Oh, that was nice. That's nice. How about yourself, Chris?
Yeah, similar to Mads and Kate, definitely music before the match, and more chilled out music for me. I like to be pretty relaxed before the game. And the other one, before I actually go to the stadium, I make sure that I always talk to my wife and children. That's a good calmer for me as well. Nice and relaxed.
Great sharing, guys. Thank you so much. Kate, for yourself, I think I have a similar experience with my teammates. We play football in an amateur league here as well. So we always have this one song that we start singing before the game to hype us all up. I'm not sure why, but it's the song, I can't remember who it's by, but it's "I Hate Myself for Loving You." And I don't know why we always sing that song before every game, but it kind of pumps us up before every game. So I completely appreciate your sharing on the referees with the mics. That was interesting. Okay, moving on, I have a question for you, Kate. This one could be a bit serious. So how important do you think, or do you feel, it is for professional players to set the standard on behavior towards referees and act as role models for the younger generation and amateur players alike. I mean, on TV, we've seen a lot of things. As viewers at home, we've seen a lot of situations where players can sometimes be a bit aggressive towards referees, be it physical or verbally. So how important it is to you for players to be able to set a standard of behavior towards referees to maintain that respect and for other players to follow through as well?
Yeah, certainly. Well, I feel it's significantly important because, I mean, these are the professional highest elite players in the world. They're on the world stage. They've got like the world watching them. And I feel that there's sort of a social responsibility that these players have. And they are role models and people look up to them whichever way. And I guess they're the game's spokespeople or representatives. And I don't think that they're above the law, and I certainly don't think they're above the spirit of the game or the spirit of football that the laws of the game kind of speaks about. And I think they kind of owe it to the game as well, because who would they be without that game? So yeah, certainly around the world they are looked at and seen to they reflect the game, the cultural norms. And I had this debate with another referee colleague actually, and she said, well, just look at the cultural differences between Japan and the game in Japan versus the game in Brazil. You've got a lot more simulation versus Japan, where you basically have players apologizing for certain things in a match, and there's massive cultural differences. And she said it's a good thing, but also at the same time, I also feel like it does come back to the spirit of the game, and it should be played in fairness. And yes, we all want to win, but we don't want to win at a cost of our integrity or the honesty or the honesty of how beautiful this game is, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't think competition or any amount of money should outweigh the game being played in a fair and equitable and sportsmanlike manner.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I think for myself, I'd like to add on that regardless of the league and the country, everyone who's playing the game has to carry out the spirit of the game, whether you're a coach, whether you're a player, whether you're a referee, whether you're the ball boy at the side, whether you're fans, right? Everyone has to maintain that same level of respect for the game and to treat each person as equal, despite it being a competition, because we're all here in the name of football, and competition shouldn't get in the way of that. So thank you so much for sharing. Chris and Matt, if you have anything to add on, would you like to add on that?
I would agree with what Kate has said, that the players at the top end of the game absolutely have a role to play to set the standard for our younger and emerging players and players at the grassroots and community level. And I think that Kate nailed it, that they are absolutely role models for our game.
Thank you, Chris. How about yourself, Matt?
Yeah, I totally agree. If especially we see it in the top league in Denmark, if we as a referee don't take control and are consistent, when we come down and have a grassroots game, they'll say, hey, the guys in the top league are allowed to do it and we are not allowed. So for sure, we are role models. Very important that we remember as referee, our main duty is, of course, to protect the players, but also to protect the image of the game, and of course to protect refereeing all over. Doesn't matter which game it is, you have to be consistent for sure.
Great, thanks everyone. I think the viewers can definitely take something away from this. I have, I think, 2 more questions for you, so hang in there. This is this is for Matt actually. Sorry, I have 3 questions actually. So this one's for Matt. Your experience saw you officiate in many different leagues in Europe, including the World Cup qualifications, what has been the toughest match of your career so far and why?
Actually, it was here in, let me see, when did we end in Denmark? It was in July. We had a new tournament structure, so I had the match for relegation. We knew that the club losing the game would be relegated, and it was a very tough match. Actually, in the end, we ended up with 3 direct red cards. So for me, it was a very tough match, even with my 2 assistants I used to work with out in Europe, because you could really feel the special atmosphere. You knew the team who was losing was going to go out. And in Denmark, when you go out, it means that you, of course, lose money. And when you lose money in Denmark as a club, sometimes you need to go out and fire someone in the club because you don't have the economy to have them employed. So it was a very tough match, especially in the end. A lot of free kicks, a lot of management needed to be done. And in the end, with the 3 red cards, we had to be consistent. So
I'm sure that must have been tough. I mean, it's one thing to want to win a game, to win a competition, but it's another thing to want to win a game to stay in the league. And I think that must have been really tough for you as well. How about Chris, for yourself? Do you have a match that has been the toughest of your career?
Yeah, I think so. A few years ago now, when Brazil and Argentina played at the MCG here in Australia, and that was a tough game at the time, as I look back on it, because it was officiating teams with a completely different style of football. So I think if I refereed that game now, it would be a different story. But at the time, it was a totally different style of football with different players, different tactics, different technical ability, and it was a real eye-opener to teams at the absolute top of their game, in front of a big crowd as well, in front of almost 100,000 people. So that was a really tough experience. But also looking back with those 2 teams, it was one of the best experiences as well.
Cool. So I think I've asked about the toughest match of your careers. So what about the best moments, like the best match of your careers? Maybe Kate, you want to start with this?
Yeah, I don't think I can go past my first match at the World Cup, and I think probably what comes along with that, and that is a moment in your career that you realize that you finally got there, and I got to do it with a friend of mine who is also Australian, and we've come up through the youth ranks. We got to do that together, be on the first match together, and I was with a completely new team as well at the World Cup, so that had another level on top of that. But yeah, walking out to the first game of the World Cup with the crowd and everything around you, and then blowing the final whistle, and the relief that you have being like, I did it. It just washes away from you, just knowing that, okay, as much as that was awesome, thank God I didn't do anything wrong. And just the relief at the end of it going, yeah, I don't think I can go past that.
Well, Kate, I think you're inspiring a lot of our viewers right now. You're making me wish I did something a little different in my career right now, but that's okay because I'm here speaking to you. So, Matt, how about yourself? What's your career highlight?
I think it's difficult to say that this match was the highlight because for me, I have different steps. Of course, the first match you ever had as a referee was a highlight. The first match in the top league was a highlight. The first international match was a highlight. But if I look back and should choose one match, that would be the cup final in Denmark. That was one of the big matches when I look back on my career when I will end, because normally in Denmark you only have the cup final once. But of course, in international, the first group match I had in Europa League in Villarreal was also a big experience because my first assistant, it was his last match, ending after many years as a FIFA guy. I've been traveling all over the world. So it was also a special match. But every match, in a way, have their own thing to remember. But especially the first international match was a big experience for me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Let's just do one final question since we're looking at a bit of time, having a little bit of time left. What advice would all of you give to any young aspiring referees, especially our viewers at SingaCup who are watching this right now? If you have any advice for them, that would really be great. So Chris, let's start with you.
Yeah, sure. So a really good question. Advice to young referees. Firstly, I'd say to enjoy the journey. First and foremost, that football is supposed to be fun. So that would be my number one, to enjoy the journey. And secondly would be to make sure that you share your experiences. So sharing the good experiences and also maybe the not so good experiences as well. Every referee has more than likely been there and done that. So I think it's important that, surrounding yourself with the right people and sharing what you're going through is really important.
Cool. Kate, how about yourself?
Yeah, I'm gonna tack on to Chris's advice, but expand on it. That your refereeing career is a journey, so don't expect to be a World Cup referee in your first year of football. But embrace the journey, embrace the learnings that you're going to make along the way. That mistakes will come, and it's inevitable. I make mistakes, and Mads and Chris, I'm sure they're going to put up their hand and say they do too. We are not immune from mistakes, and they're nothing to fear. It's just part of the collective journey of becoming the referee. I wouldn't have been the referee that I was at the World Cup if I hadn't made all the mistakes prior, and I'm grateful for those opportunities and the learnings that I took away from that, because that got me to where I am today. So yeah, embrace the journey and enjoy it along the way. Yes, you're going to feel like rubbish some days and you're going to want to throw it away. But I can tell you at the end of it all, after everything, it is worth it. It is absolutely worth it.
Well, thank you so much, Kate, for that. Matt, how about yourself?
As Kate said, we all make mistakes, and as I always say to the young referees in Denmark, good referees make mistakes, but the great ones learn from it and improve all the time. And as Chris said earlier, it's a question about enjoying it, and especially when you reach the top level, think about the guys you meet on the way to the top. Is also the guys you will meet on the way down. So be yourself. Don't be like someone else. Don't go like Kate said, that I want to be in the World Cup after 1 year. Take it step by step, enjoy it, and then you will also succeed for sure.
Very well said. Thank you, all three of you. I think what we got out of this is to embrace the journey, embrace the mistakes, embrace the highs and lows, and to not give up on the journey and to remember why you started. So I think we've had a round of very interesting stories and sharings from all three of you. And I'd like to thank you all so much for being a part of the SingaCup segment with us. And I hope to see you in the future for future SingaCup events, hopefully. And yeah, thank you once again.
Thanks so much.
This is the place I call home.
Our home. This is where we live amongst trees and carve them out of metal. Where impossibilities lead us to endless possibilities. This is where all that you're passionate about, all that drives you, is made possible. This is where passion is made possible.
Okay, hi. So welcome to SingaCup 2020. So my name is June from Jupiter Football. I will be the moderator for today's discussion. And to be honest, today it's really we are delighted to actually have some of our old boys back together again. So today we have got three of them. So we have got hilarious Brian from Indonesia. So Brian actually used to be the Golden Boots winner in one of the age group. Then we have got Billy Catapolis from Australia. And we also have Iksan Fandi. Okay, Iksan Fandi. So currently in Norway. So thank you very much. I know it's really very hard for us to get everybody together, different time zone, but I'm glad that we were able to make it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so I will just start out with the very first question. So, because all of you, the three of you are actually the old boys of SingaCup. Now looking back at the SingaCup tournament that you have participated, so how did that tournament actually help you in your football development? So maybe we can start from Billy first.
Yeah. Look, I think it's a long time ago now. I think 2011, the starting year of the SingaCup. So you guys made me dig back into the archives a little bit. It's been very long. But, it was my first international tournament. I had never been overseas at that point. So just being in a team environment away from home and really prioritizing our time around the games and stuff like that, that was a big thing for me. And I think I was 16 years of age. So I was away from family, even though it was for 5 days. It gave me that taste to be away from home and play against top quality players of different nationalities. And as you know, with football, with different nationalities, there's different playing styles. And it was different for us from Australia, adapting to the playing styles of, let's say, a team from the Philippines. So it was very good, great experience.
Good. What about Iksan?
Well, it was 2011, so I would have been like 12 years old. And for me at that time, I was just all about having fun, playing football. But at the same time, we were really competitive. So obviously we want to win games, and we see like the big boys from Australia. We're like, hey, these guys are so tall,
Huge.
And yeah, so it was a good taste, like what Billy mentioned, of like international football for us. Yeah, it was like a first competitive international tournament almost for me. And just to know different types of styles of play and meeting new people. Yeah, I think it was, for me at the time, was just to have fun and enjoy the international scene. Yeah.
Great. So how about Hilarious?
Well, for the first, I'm so sorry because if my English speak is a little bit.
No problem.
But, for me, SingaCup is the best tournament because this is the first international competition tournament for me and my team, and I get the participation in SingaCup in 2013 and 2015, and then in SingaCup I see the play football from the other countries, and I can exchange my knowledge. I can explain and improve my potential. After that, I get some motivation from this competition. I think SingaCup is the best competition for young football talent, especially from Indonesia.
Oh, it seems like everybody has got a good time remembering all this, all the past, like especially like 2011. That was really like 9 years ago. Yeah. So I mean, it's really true because I've spoken to people. So the impression of SingaCup given to all the officials that we have met, to them it's like SingaCup is like a mini World Cup. That's where you have got a lot of the teams from internationally all gather in Singapore and have that sparring for that few days. It's really a good exposure for a team. So maybe my next question now, okay, you see, so you guys have participated. Yes, so now I have successfully brought you guys back 9 years ago or even more. So can you recall any memorable match, goal, or perhaps a moment from your participation in SingaCup? maybe this time now I have Iksan to go first.
Yeah. Okay. It was a long, long time ago, so I don't remember so much. Even I didn't even remember that I was MVP of the of my
yes,
age.
MVP of an age group. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even remember that. And actually, a few days ago, I was looking through the pictures on Facebook of the games, and everybody looks. I was so young, but I don't recall many matches. But I'm sure it was probably a goal that I just dribbled everybody and take a shot. I think that's common when I was 12 years old. I just do that for fun. But now it's not possible to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, most importantly is have fun, especially when you play football. It started off for everyone as well. Fun, enjoyment. Yeah. So how about Hilarious? Any of that goal or moment that you still remember?
Thank you for the question. For me, if I can recall back for a special moment for me in SingaCup, I think the times participation in SingaCup is all the best moment for me because especially in 2015, I get the trophy for the champion with my team in under 14. After that, the times I get the double achievement from under 12 and under 14 for the Golden Boot Award. And then for me, this is the best moment, and I don't forget it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You participated in 2 editions.
Yes.
And on both occasions, you won the Golden Boots Award.
Yes, and under 12 and under 14.
It's really cool.
Yes.
Okay, next, how about Billy?
Yeah, like I said, I had to do my research and look back a little bit. But there was a game that we played against a team from the Philippines. I forget their name, but we won 3-0. But it was one of the technique, the way they were just great. They were quick. I think our physical attributes beat them, just our strength and keeping them off the ball and that. But their technique in 1v1 situations, that would turn you inside out. Like you just didn't know where to look, and that's how quick and nippy they were. But we got over the line, and I was lucky enough. I scored the 3 goals, and I remember at the end of the game, the referee went to go give me the match ball, but someone else came and grabbed it off me and took it away, so they didn't give me the match ball. I was like, yes, I get to take the ball home, but they were like, nah, this is not for you. So that's a memorable moment, I guess.
Well, definitely. That's the reason why you remember until now.
Yeah, that's it.
If I may just add on one more question, I'm really curious about this, the questions to 3 of you. So let's say, I know that you guys have got great memories from SingaCup, and especially like what Billy has shared, that moment, something that you'll remember for the rest of your life. So is there any takeaway from that tournament that you have participated? Anybody want to start first? About Hilarious, come, you first.
Yeah. I think I get the best learn football in SingaCup, but the best treatment for me is to work hard, play hard. I can see our style football from other countries, and I can see the new family, the new friends from other countries. I think it's good for me.
Cool. It's Sun. How about you?
I think one of the biggest takeaways from tournament is just meeting new types of people, new types of footballers. Having that first taste of competitiveness, and just like to prepare you for future tournaments. I think it's a good thing, but also just to have fun, and it's always a fun time in SingaCup. Everybody's running around, music is playing, food stalls, drink stalls. Yeah, so yeah, that's for me.
Billy?
Yeah, what I took away from it was probably similar. Just the overseas trip with friends, because at the end of the day, your teammates are close friends, and there's a lot of them that I still speak to today. And going back to the whole process of traveling with your teammates, staying in hotels, obviously late nights, and just being around in the group atmosphere, obviously trying good Singaporean food, you know, you can't beat that. And of course, the football as well. That was the main reason why we were there. And to win the actual competition, that was a bonus. So, yeah, it was great.
It's really a great experience. Imagine that you're here playing with a lot of good players, talented players, and at the same time, you get to visit the country. It's really like a good tourism, good holiday as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
So right now, I mean, like the three of you have got very good. How do I put it? So you guys have played a lot of football. You have great experience playing at the highest level here and there. So I mean, we have a lot of young and upcoming players are watching this as well. So would you be able to share with us, prior to a match, how you guys prepare yourself for the game? So maybe this time around, it's some you want to go first?
Yeah. How I prepare myself, I mean, I think many footballers know that preparation starts way before the game, maybe 1 day, 2 days before the game, just to eat right and, you know, get your focus on the game, think about what you want to do. And then game day, obviously, you know, have a good breakfast, keep positive, stretch if you like to stretch, listen to music, these type of things, you know, just calm down and do things that you like. Don't stress about the game. And yeah, I think if you're relaxed for a game and you're ready and you're positive, you're gonna play a good game. If you're thinking too much, then you know it's not gonna be good.
Good. Yeah. How about Billy?
Yeah, I totally agree with everything that you said. Like in terms of preparation, it starts way before the actual game day. So, but for me, I think the older I've gotten, the more I've focused more on nutrition, and so obviously taking in good carbohydrates the night before the game. Me personally, I don't eat meat 2 days before the game because it just takes longer for my body to digest, and I feel very sluggish coming into the game. So try and eat light foods and obviously good carbs, get a good night's rest, you know, good music and the atmosphere in the change room is a big thing for me. If the atmosphere is good, then I think you're going to have a good game. So and obviously playing here in Darwin, it's a small community. So usually I try and look at the opponent, the opposition, and who possibly will be marking me, and try and do my homework before I get out onto the pitch. So yeah, little things like that without overdoing it in your head. Obviously, you don't want to try and play the game too much in your head and stress yourself out. But yeah, I think as the years have gone on, my pre-game routine has changed, but it's become a lot more relaxed, if that makes sense. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. So how about Hilarious?
Okay, for me, the best routine for before you go to the match, I think after you work hard and play hard in the training before the competition, I think you can you can pray to God in the field. You all out, you relax, you enjoy this match.
Yep.
But for the most important thing for young football player, I think the strong mentality, because young football player have a big spirit, but if you don't have a strong mentality, fair play, respect in the field, you don't go to professional career. I think all out, enjoy and respect your match. Thank you.
Yeah. So generally, I think it's really like a good and healthy diet. The preparations is not just the day before. So we are talking about a week or even months before. You are always constantly be ready for the game. It's not just about the pre-game here and there. It's true. It's true. So talk about that, especially football. So I mean, like you guys are considered very, very young. Okay. So even Billy as well. Come on, Billy. Yeah. So who do you model your game after? So basically, I'm asking who's your idol. So maybe I'll start with Hilarious first.
Yeah, I think my something special role model I don't have, because I think our football player, if he can make a good performance to me, he can my inspiration. But I think I want to have a good power, good suit, good spirit like Cristiano Ronaldo, and I want to make a good skill, agility like Lionel Messi, and then my like personality, leadership in the field like Bambang Pamungkas, Indonesia national team
Yep.
player.
Famous figure. Yeah. Okay. How about Billy?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I mean, you can't look past Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. They're great players, but there's been great players over a long period of time. Like I remember growing up and seeing Eric Cantona and David Beckham, and I say all those players because I'm a Manchester United supporter. But yeah. But I think now watching football, I look purely on the position that I play, and it doesn't matter which player it is. I tend to look at how they're playing, where they're moving, what they're doing off the ball, and I try and take a bit from each player and try and make it my own. So but yeah, you can't look past Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi. They're the greatest.
Yeah,
the target that you have. It's on.
Like Billy mentioned, actually, I just look at players that are in my position, and I try to take what I can from them and learn. Actually, in the past, I never watched football at all when I was young. I've never liked watching football at all. So when people come to me and ask, hey, "Who's your favorite player?" I just say my dad because I don't know many like strikers. But as I grow up, it's actually really important to analyze some games, some strikers. So that's what I've been doing much more now in the past few years, picking up things from like Benzema, Lewandowski, Aubameyang, and like sometimes I play wing, so I look at Sane and the movements of the runs, and I think this is so important. So I don't have a favorite player. I just analyze people that are in my position. Yeah.
Oh, good. So each of you got your own strategy and habit and practice of how you guys are going to model your game and who do you follow and follow suits. Okay, if I may ask this. So I realize that we have been talking so much about football, your career, what you're doing. So would you be able to share with us like what are you guys busy with these days, especially football? I'm just curious to know what you guys are busy with. Some of our viewers over here, they are also curious to know. So how about Billy first?
Yeah. So I'm currently playing for my local club here, Down Olympic Sporting Club. It's a big family history with that club. Obviously, being from Down myself, I've had uncles that have played for the club, and it's been like a generational thing. So it's a club that I hold very close to my heart, and I'm lucky enough to be captaining them. So yeah, I'm still currently playing, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely, like I said, the older I've gotten, I'm still very dedicated to the sport and want to play at the best of my ability week in, week out. But I also work as well. So, and I'm married now as well. So things are a lot different, but yeah, still very dedicated to my club and hoping to win more championships with them.
So, Hilarious, what about you?
I think for me, football can make enjoy for me because in my local region in Bontang, I have my good motivator like Fahri Hussaini, Indonesia legend player. He can make me to improve my potential, my skill, my dream in football, and then after that I enjoy my age now, my era, and then I want to get my best in the future.
Good. At least you have a plan in place. Oh, good.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
How about your son, you?
Right now I'm playing for Raufoss in Norway, in the second division in Norway. This is my first professional contract in Europe, so I'm excited about that. But of course, I wanna work hard and see how far I can go in Europe. Because it's always easy to come back to Singapore or come back to Asia to play, but I'm really competitive and I want to see how far I can go in Europe, and hopefully within the next few years I'm building up and moving up the ladder, playing for better teams in a better league, and just to be a better player in general, the best that I can be.
Cool.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, I've actually got questions for Billy and Hilarious. So how much do you guys know about Singapore football?
How much do I know about Singapore football? Yeah. There was actually, now that you say that, this is years ago. I think it would have been in the 80s, but a team from Darwin used to actually come to Singapore and play. And it was called the Darwin Cubs, and they used to play against Singaporean teams. Mm. And actually in 2011, when I won the Golden Boot, it was some sort of he was a superstar of Singapore, and I forget his name, but he handed me the trophy. I got to find, is it?
Son, can you answer that question?
Yeah, that's my dad.
Oh, really? There you go. Oh, yeah, there you go. And when I my uncles actually played against your dad. So, because when I showed them the photo of who was handing me the trophy, it was him, and they actually, they knew each other.
I was looking at the pictures, so I'm guessing you're the tall Australian guy.
Yeah, there you go.
It's so touching. Yeah. Memories are coming back.
There you go. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. That's really nice. So yeah,
cool. So that's your memory and your how you look at Singapore football.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
definitely
exactly.
Mr. Fandi Ahmad. Yes, he's definitely an icon for Singapore football.
There you go. Awesome.
Yep. How about Hilarious? Share with me about what you know about Singapore football.
I think Singapore have a good system, good potential, good research. Like SingaCup make a good place for young football to improve his potential. I think Singapore can get the best football history in the future, I think.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, if you talk about Indonesian football and Singapore football, we have a lot of rivalry and memories as well. So every time we look at the youth team from the Indonesia coming to play in the SingaCup, well, the semangat that they have is really different. You know, the fighting spirits that they show, the gameplay, the maturity of the game is really so different. It's really so very different. Okay, so my one last question. So would you be able to share with me what is your football dream? So maybe I'll tell you what, let me start out with Hilarious first.
Good question for me, because honestly, for me, I don't have a big dream for football, because at my position now, I'm a student in the college. But if I have a good opportunity, I want to get back my career in football, because in 2016 I have a good opportunity to trial and training in Real Valladolid. This moment can motivation me to back in the field, improve my skill, improve my potential, and then after that I want to play with Indonesian national team, with Garuda, and then I want to sing a Indonesian national anthem in Gelora Bung Karno, like that. But also outside the field, I think I want to make a good system, big revolution to Indonesia Football Organization, like PSSI. I want to make a good development for Indonesia young football player, from bottom to up, from young to professional career. I think Indonesia, I have a good potential, because I learned from my history. Like now, I think Indonesia is the individual, like from nothing to something, like that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Definitely. So how about Itsan? Your football dream?
My football dream, well, since young, it's always been to play in Europe in a good league, and now I'm in Europe, so I just need to work hard to get into better teams, into a better league. But my main dream is always to beat my dad's national team goal record. I think it's 51 or something like that. So that's always something that's on my mind every time I play for the national team.
That's really awesome.
That's all I think about. Is just I need to score every single game. I need to beat my dad. And then, yeah.
Do you guys actually discuss about this?
Yeah, he told me, like, I think it was the last international break. I was kind of on form. I scored 2 in 2 games or 2 in 3 games, and he was like, Iksan, you're doing good. If you keep going like this, you're gonna beat my record. And I say, yeah, you just wait.
That's cool. That's cool. Okay, how about Billy?
Yeah, look, it was obviously as a young kid, your dream is to hit professional status. Unfortunately, I didn't. I hit semi-professional status, and I went interstate and played for a few clubs in Melbourne, Australia, and but I never got to that next step for whatever reason, you know, and I sort of came back home and started playing with my local club here, and one of my dreams as a kid was to captain the club, and I accomplished that. So I was very happy to do that. And in my first year captaining the club, we actually won the championship. So that was, I mean, a dream that I you know, it was a dream I had from a young kid. But I've played in a few FFA Cups, which is equivalent to the FA Cup in England, but it's run in obviously Australia, and you get to play different clubs from around Australia. So that was a big thing, and we got to play against Adelaide United, who was an A-League side.
Yep.
And so things like that. Obviously, playing against professionals and being in a professional environment, I've done that, and I'm very happy with what I've achieved in my career so far. So.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. I mean, it's really privilege. It's my privilege and our privilege to be able to gather everybody here for this chat. So, you know, the memories bring back. We have been involved in SingaCup for a long time as well. So, like having our alumni, our old boys talking about SingaCup is definitely bring back a different meaning, especially to this year, our 10th anniversary. So, once again, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wish everybody good luck in your career, good luck with whatever you're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
If I am not coached by the time you become national team players, I hope that all of you will learn and use what you have learned for the glory of your nation.
The Malaysia Cup generates revenue and great interest in the sport. And for 12 years, we can't even win it. Mr. Ganesan, are you able to guarantee its success?
Sometimes when people don't want you, it means they really don't want you.
Almost fell asleep waiting for you.
Then open your eyes. You are coach.
Flat out! My boys, you are finally here. Representing your national team. Madura! History has no sympathy for the defeated. We are either champions or nothing. This is not their tough. This is the Lion's Den.